What's up, boys? We're back with some more Spell Brigade, and today we're going to be checking out some of the multiplayer with the random matchmaking, since that's one of the most unique and promising aspects of the game. Pretty easy to just find a group of random people. We're going to be checking out the Recon Scout here, so that we can start with the ZHUKOV and eventually add in the Death Spiral effect and just blast the entire screen with the bullet hell effects. There's actually lots of good damage conversion overclocks you can get here. Freezing effect is great since you can apply so many different shots all around you. Lightning is great so you can do chain lightning and lots of AoE. And then you can also grab the dark effect so that you can slowly start mind controlling enemies to fight each other. Pretty good when you can do a lot of bullets and just stack it up really quickly. The early game does start a bit slow, and sometimes in the multiplayer there's a little bit of an issue where a lot of the enemies will focus on like one of the players, and then if you're super spread out you won't really be able to fight a lot, which will make it feel even slower. There's not really any reason you need to split up in the early game. A bit later on you might want to look around for the item chests and stuff solo so that you can cover more ground, but we can freely group up for now if we feel like it. As long as you have the Covenant that makes it so you don't do friendly damage, which I think we do have here. It's actually pretty hard to find a multiplayer group if you have any of the search parameters selected. Let's grab some birds here. I think that'll fit nicely with the bullet hell builds. But if you're okay with basically any of the stuff, severe. What is that? The threat levels are like easy, moderate, and hardcore. What the heck is severe? I've never seen that before. Like the middle threat level is moderate. What is that? Is that an infinite thing actually, maybe? We have the infinite mode here, so maybe it's exclusive to that mode actually. Spell cooldown, yep. More bullet hell. I would still like to be able to see exactly what like luck and armor translate to with the values over there. It's probably like 100 armor is 50% reduction, and then 200 armor is 66.7%, since that's what almost every game uses these days. I'm not sure exactly what luck translates to, but it actually does seem to make a pretty big difference. I've been testing it a little bit, and one of my runs the other day, I got a +8 luck legendary upgrade pretty early on, and that was by far one of my strongest runs yet, so getting some of that early on can actually make a huge difference upbounds, and I actually do need to focus it a bit more sometimes. Big crit damage, sure. Come on, Death Spiral! Alright, let's use a bit of HP, see if we can find the Death Spiral overclock. Here we go, rotating pattern and some cooldown on top of it, that's it. We do need some more spell cooldown to actually make it a full-on Death Spiral, but we've already got the sort of pattern for it at least. Epic pickup. I think there actually is some sort of way that you can kind of communicate with people in here. I've seen people doing like emotes or something, like saying good job and stuff. Big damage. But it's kind of hard to actually look up stuff here since there's no pausing. Probably should have done that before the game. So we need, I think, 2 more levels for the first elemental infusion on that. I think it's 7 for most wizards, one of them gets them slightly earlier. Big cooldown, yup. Yeah, you can see the big circle there, so 1 more level for that one. Try and focus down the healer if we can. Pull him on top of the detonator. Nice cooldown there. I think we will grab that. There's some kind of funny items you can actually get for the multiplayer. That will get us an overclock there. Sure. See what we got here. Lightning and ice are both pretty solid. I think I like lightning for the chain lightning. That usually improves the AoE damage by a lot. Yeah, you can get items that actually scale with the total number of times you've revived your teammates. You can get like damage or crit damage. I think revive speed, but that's really not a great stat. You actually revive pretty quickly by default. You can just stand in a big circle near where they died, and it doesn't actually take that long. I don't think I really like any of these for the bullet hell builds. I guess we'll get some laser beams. If you can kill some of these guys, they actually give some decent XP as well. So I usually try and run along with them and get as many bullets on them as I can. Oops. Cooldown for the birds. Oh yeah, if you split up, it makes it a lot easier to find the objectives. It looks like they're completing that extremely fast. What? I've actually never seen one of them complete that fast before, and that's with only 2 out of 3 people there too. This is our normal level up. Probably take the epic damage there, then see what overclock we get off of that. Ooh, burst for the rune burst. That'll make it a real death spiral. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it sometimes does take people a while to pick on those, so it can take quite a while longer. I'm gonna grab some luck here, like I said. Does make a pretty big difference over time. We might have an item chest now. I don't know exactly when they spawn. It looks to be about every 33% of the top bar or so, I think. Yeah, there we go. I think it is every 1/3 then, since we're pretty close to that marker right now. I kind of like the armor for every objective. That'll give some nice survivability, and you can combine that with something else to get some big damage as well. There's one of them that gives you more % damage, but also makes you slower based on your armor, so that combo is kind of funny. Probably just take some damage here for the rune burst. Oh yeah, bullet hell value. Rune burst. Those just aren't really that useful. Probably just go with the range here, or toss a reroll actually. I think I'm fine with that. Big range over there. It's not the greatest stat for the beam, but I guess so. XP, sure. Decent cooldown or some crits. It's definitely better damage, but getting the infusions out is just fun. Kind of like taking that if they're close enough. I just don't really care that much. I'm just taking the level here, I think. It is good survivability when combined with the armor we'll get from the objectives, but I think there isn't really a lot of interactions with HP in this game. Like, regen and the potions are both a flat amount. That'll kind of fit with the bullet hell, spread of daggers in front of us. And I haven't seen any ways to scale your other stats based off of HP, so this doesn't really seem like there's anything interesting to go with it, as far as I've seen. Big range, yup. Decent cooldown, sure. That's a lot of stuff coming from the right side. Let's probably not go that way. Big range, that's fine. Probably just go cooldown on the rune burst. Ooh, an additional projectile for the death spiral. There actually do seem to be a decent number of overclocks that can allow you to heal your teammates with them. And there is a mage that actually generates XP every time he takes damage. So there might be some sort of interesting, like, XP generation tank you can do with a bunch of your teammates healing you, maybe? You can also just do it yourself. I think I'd rather just have a blue damage over that. The most interesting thing I've seen to go with dodge so far is one of the items will heal you for a percentage of the damage you would have taken every time you dodge. Probably go for the spell size here. So if you could get like 50% dodge or so, plus that item, you would heal for a pretty big portion of the damage you would have taken. But getting to 50% dodge would also be a pretty big investment. Cooldown for the bullet hell? Yep. Ooh. And that gets us our second elemental infusion as well. Double lightning gets us even more AoE? Yup. Oh, we probably have a second item chest up now. Looks like we are about at the time for that, I would think. Big bullet hell cooldown. You can also see your teammates' spells and levels up there. So this guy has an acid infusion on the falling stars thing, I think. He has a dark infusion on the talon slash and a fire on the moonerang, I think it is. So we've got some defense reduction there, some mind control there, and a little bit of damage over time for that. Bullet hell! Get some bird damage, that'll be kind of close to its first infusion. top of the objective, so we have to play some soccer to finish this one. Big health regen. I guess we'll take that. It's 25%, or actually 33% on the base amount that I have right now. We're gonna need to clear out some of these guys to actually finish that off, I think. Probably go for the rune burst damage just to really maximize that. Oops. Kind of awkward trying to get the daggers to hit stuff decently as well sometimes. Rune burst cooldown, yup. Where is that guy going? Oh, he passed it to me! So... oh, this is a regular level up. We'll go for the big damage there. But we might be out of the rune burst overclocks now. I guess we'll probably take the bird here then. So, we still have the second item. I can still go for the armor damage stream. And it should definitely be up now. I didn't see it earlier since I got distracted by the objective. But there definitely should be a second chest somewhere. And if I'm at full HP, we can drop 2 rerolls to try and fish for it as well, I think. Rune burst. We're at 156 armor. Rune burst. Oh, it's just sitting over there. Someone already destroyed the chest, actually. I'll go cool down there. It's getting kind of close to an infusion. Let's go cooldown there. I kind of want to save the full HP so we can reroll as many times as possible here. We could grab that, but I think I'd rather try and find the damage thing. That is really weird. Revive speed 50% for every objective. Here we go. Big damage, but we'll be super slow, so 48%, up to 204%. Almost died from an explosion I could barely avoid, but we will have crazy AoE damage now. If I don't die, definitely use some movement speed now as well. Even more rune burst. Go revive this guy. Yeah, it only takes like 2 seconds to even revive them in the first place. I don't feel like revive speed is ever going to be a good stat. Decent crit chance. Oh, movement as well, but lower rarity, I guess. Blue luck. Ooh, we do need some movement speed. Big damage for the Ether Beam or Rune Burst. I'll take a higher rarity. Rune Burst damage. That's probably more damage, but this has less of a downside. Since the armor would work on all 4 spells at the same time. But I'm already kind of slow. Big cooldown into an overclock. Acid and Dark are actually both kind of cool there. I guess this makes more sense as a debuffing spell. You kind of want to hit a lot of enemies with that to corrupt them all to fight for you, I think. But having that as a defense debuffer, we can still pretty easily target the boss with that and get most of the value out of it. Big damage. What the? Oh! If you're standing right where the boss will spawn, it does instant damage to you. I didn't know that. Rune Burst cooldown, yup. Even more bullet hell. So we can easily have the beam hit him and debuff his defense, and then we can stand kind of close so that more of the bullet hell shots will hit him. Not really sure here. That's the most damage. I guess it's fine. Just take the knives level here. Oh! Didn't see him start the cast right as he got stunned. That hurt. I think we can take the epic damage there. Yeah, when he gets stunned, it doesn't actually interrupt his spellcast thing, so you have to be careful of that even if he's about to get stunned. damage, sure. Yeah, I think we're out of Rune Burst. Probably keep going into the bird. That's not bad. It does debuff the highest HP enemy, but I think that'll make us stronger overall as long as we get some infusions for it eventually. Nice range, sure. I don't know when the chests will start spawning on the second, infinite loop. Haven't really done a ton with that so far, usually just go for one boss. Cooldown for the birds. And the early stages are again very easy once it starts a new infinite loop. So he's got fire on magic missiles, looks like plasma on his boomerang, double dark, so he'll have a lot of mind control, and then ice on, I think that's ether beam? Yeah, it looks like it. Big cooldown on the knives, or on the bullet hell. I think I'm gonna take a legendary though. Brits to healing. None of these are that great. I guess we'll try that out, since that's kind of my secondary spell here. damage for the bullet hell, sure. Still says cycle 1 on that. Objectives completed 6. And you do share a vibe pool in multiplayer, I think, but it adds all of them that every player has together. So we got an item. We can go elemental damage. We can try to reroll and find another armor item. I can probably do 2 rerolls here. I don't know how likely it is, and my movement speed would go extremely low. So probably best just to go with the safe pick here. Spell damage will get us an infusion there. I think I like dark for the extra crowd control with the fighting for me. We can have that as our biggest damage by far, and then we can grab a bunch of utility on these. If we get another acid on the beam, that will improve the defense reduction. We can look for like dark and ice on the other 2 to get a bunch of crowd control. You can also add in lightning to something that already has crowd control to add a bouncing effect that also applies that. So really a lot of stuff you can build for utility over there. Cooldown into an infusion. We'll grab lightning to set that up for a CC effect at the next infusion. Get some extra AoE on it for now. Ooh, an additional target for the birds. Yeah, I think we'll grab that. cooldown, sure. We could definitely use some movement speed. That always allows us to get some more armor. And we're actually naturally getting armor for every objective anyways, so it's always good to get some of that every once in a while. Guess XP here? Just cooldown for everything. Might be kind of hard to find the golden crab here since we're starting to get overwhelmed. If it starts taking damage, then we'll know that someone else is on it. Oh, it looks like someone has found it in the bottom left. Get some damage on the bird, I think. Nether birds? Sure. Yeah, we definitely want to try and get up to the second infusion if possible, with all those overclock sports. definitely take the damage for that. That's by far our biggest AoE damage at almost 20 million. So any big upgrades for it are still good. Big range on the beam. I don't feel like that's a very useful stat. We're never really at a point where it can't hit anything. So I think I'd rather just take the Rune Burst here. It's basically impossible for it to not be hitting at this point with how many enemies there are. That Necro Whirl with the Ice Infusion is kind of crazy. He's overlapping so many of them and they're just chain freezing everything. That is actually sick. Big bird cooldown, lots of damage. Knife damage, sure. Oh, I do have some more Rune Bursts, okay. Haven't seen any of those in a while. So damage or mediocre level on that. Still kind of low on movement. I think we'll just go spell damage for the beam. Birds, yep. I don't think we really need pickup distance. I have so many levels on that. A basic global upgrade might actually be better now. It's probably close either way. Yeah, that guy's freezing spell is so good for us. I don't know that we really need range on that now. We're getting kind of overwhelmed, so I think the cooldown actually makes more sense here. Base cooldown there, or for the rune burst, kind of far away from an infusion there. I guess we should probably just take that. Or actually, I'm not sure how those interact, but that seems to be additive each time. It does feel kind of boring when you literally can't move at all, because there's just so many enemies and then the detonators push you back each time. I do feel like there could be a little bit more to the gameplay at this point, but I guess it's infinite mode and they usually don't really balance the late game and infinite modes all that much. Big range. I guess we will take that just because it's a legendary and there's nothing godlike anyways. Yes, we can finally move around a little bit. HP. Yeah, it's better if he chases someone else so I can run after him with the knives constantly hitting him. I guess so. cast it on 2 people there. Uh-oh. We might be in trouble. That any of these make a huge difference. Probably just epic dodge. Uh-oh. Ow. I barely move. I guess spell damage for one of those. That one's slightly closer to an infusion. Trying to push the single target damage. There's just so much stuff right now. Oh god. I don't have anywhere to go. So when you're dead, you can go collect XP for them in ghost form. Other than that, you just have to wait for someone to revive you. Damage, yeah. He did that like right after he got stunned. What the heck, man? I was trying to position the knives for maximum single target pair, but he baited and outsmarted me. Probably dead soon. I don't even know what hit me there. But there are so many things here. Well, can't really do anything now. looks like we are at the end. They're getting really fast, too. I can't even outrun the detonators anymore, my god. If I follow him, I'm gonna get hit by the stones. Can I break through there? I literally can't move anymore. They're so fast. I feel like the ice infusions are actually insanely good at this point. They kind of help neutralize the insane speed bonus that enemies have. None of these really do a whole lot. I can't outrun that. Yeah, I just can't move fast enough for how much they've ramped up now. I went massive damage and they're still tanky enough for that as well. You can't revive someone else as a ghost, right? We almost had him, but they were too strong. Almost 39 million, just a bit over 38 million on the rune burst. 5.4 and 4 million. We have 118 million team damage. That's not even that much gold in this game. That's like one upgrade. What? All of that gets me 3% damage. Sick. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.